Here's what's gonna be fun. Are you ready?
I'm scared.
You guys are like, what
There we go.
is happening? Have you ever been to a meal where there was pizza, mozzarella sticks, and Funyuns before?
Not.
Every Bible study.
Every Bible study.
She knows you like
Exactly. We're gonna have a little meal, but the reason why you guys are here and having a conversation with us is your student pastors, they gave you the biggest form of a shout out and said you guys are incredible at being Christ-centered difference makers. And specifically, what we wanna talk about is what does it look like to have an impact for Jesus outside of a Sunday? So here's what I wanna do. I just wanna kinda open it up to you guys and just share with me a little bit what you are doing specifically to make an impact outside of a Sunday. So we'll start here.
So I've been given the fortunate opportunity to go on a mission trip recently over the summer to Slovakia. I mean, we were just the transformation between God and those kids, and so it's just great to see that and just see us become one big family.
Cool.
And so, I mean, another opportunity that me and Wendy have actually started is a Bible study outside of church. We hold it Sunday nights, and it's just a cool, fun, open space for kids to come and hang out. And so, I mean, I'll leave the rest of it explaining to her.
Yeah, Wendy, let's roll. What are we doing?
After high school camp, I just realized how much fun it was to get deep in the Word with a group of people you feel connected with outside of just the 1 hour a week high school service. And so we were just all hanging out at the lake one day, and someone threw out, "Tonight, let's hold a Bible study." And so we all met in my loft, and we sat down, and for an hour, we just started to study the Bible.
That's cool.
And then we've just been able to keep it going and invite other people. And then I also have an opportunity to coach, which has been incredible.
What grade are you coaching?
I coach 8th graders right now. A group
God
of
bless
8th
your
grade
soul.
girls. They're awesome. I love them. People always respond like that, but I feel blessed, seriously. My girls, I've never had an issue with them. They're awesome. But I started going to CCV as a student, and I just remember the impact that my junior high coach had on me.
Cool.
And how she just changed my life, and it's been
That's sweet.
so rewarding.
Okay, we have some cool things here. Roll with it, Micah. What are we doing?
Yeah, so at my school, every Tuesday we have Champions for Christ. And so what it is, it's kind of like a Bible study, but we're building a community in our school, because I think school is like the biggest place you need Jesus at, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really cool because, you know, like I've been in the Bible study, like everyone has different insights on the Word. And when you're able to read it and hear from different people's perspectives, it's like you grow in of yourself as well.
Yeah.
But it's really cool because you're able to invite people who may not even be Christian, but this is how you can introduce them to the faith.
And Steven, shout out Steven, he was saying that like you help freshmen too kind of get connected to the school when they're brand new to the school, right?
Yeah. So one of the other clubs I'm in, it's called Link Crew. But what we do is we host freshman orientation, kind of just lead them the way, you show them what school is like, what it's gonna be, what teachers are gonna have, and kind of icebreakers, get to know the kids.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then you're with them throughout the rest of the year, so you kind of just hang out with them. We host different events for them, so yeah.
Cool. Okay, last, but again, surely not least.
All good.
Take it, let's go.
Yeah, so I actually think like the biggest way to make an impact outside of church on Sunday nights was for me getting uncomfortable, which is something that like I had to learn obviously in an uncomfortable way, but like a mission trip, I went to Slovakia with Zach, and I remember getting the phone call and thinking like, I can't do that. And actually my immediate response was, actually I can't go. Like, I don't think I can do that. And it took me the week. Like I had 3 days to decide if I wanted to go. It took me those 3 days. On the last day I was like, I don't think God would have given the opportunity to do it if it wasn't for a purpose and if he didn't have something amazing to come out of it. And with like the uncomfortableness, I also like speaking out loud to people is not something I was comfortable with. So at my school we do prayer huddles on Wednesday mornings, and that was something like people always asked me, hey, do you want to lead? And I was always like, no, I do not. And finally I took the courage to do it after a Mexico mission trip my sophomore year, to like take that stance and do it. And even though it was uncomfortable, it was so cool to see God like speak through me, because I couldn't do it alone. But like having God on my side and like saying like, hey, like you're gonna do something good for my kingdom. Like this isn't about you, but it's about me. And it just gave me so much courage to be able to do.
That's so cool.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome. And honestly, that's why we brought you guys together, because there's so many different perspectives on what it looks like to make an impact in this circle. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Well, you guys are probably wondering like what's happening in front of us right now. We're gonna have a little meal. So every food represents one of the places that you guys are making an impact in right now, or you have made an impact in that space, okay?
Okay.
So here's the first food that we're going to dive into. It represents Slovakia, okay?
Yeah.
There's I did lots of research on Slovakian dishes, and there's this dish called, you guys might know this, Vipin. Good?
That was awesome, yeah.
Here's what it is. It's fried cheese. That's what it is. It's a classic Slovakian dish. So I'm gonna pass it around. If you wanna eat one, eat one.
Okay,
if you don't wanna eat one,
One.
our friend Micah, I found out he's lactose intolerant, so
Oh.
I don't know how long this is sitting here for.
Oh.
How's it taste?
Cold.
Listen, only the best for you guys. I have a question for Paige specifically, but you can speak a little bit to this too, Zach. What led you to go on this trip? You touched on it a little bit, but like unpack that a little bit for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So it started with, I think the original passion for it started with a Mexico mission trip. It was something I did sophomore and junior year and absolutely loved it. But I found myself after those mission trips, like getting back into the cycle of my life and just going back to what I had been doing, like going to church Sunday nights, and that's just what I was doing, and it was normal, and I was comfortable. And I feel like I had like plateaued in my faith. Like I had gotten to a point where I wasn't growing, I wasn't declining, I was just settled.
Yeah.
And I needed something to bring me out of that slump. And I think that's why I got the call to go to Slovakia, because I had made that prayer for months and months on end, like, God, give me something, like something to where you can show up and show off, like something to show me who you are, because right now, like, I just can't feel it.
Yeah.
And I got that call in like January, and the mission was in June, started in June, and I was like, okay, this is the moment that you've been preparing. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's cool. Phase 2 of the meal, you ready? We have my personal favorite, Funyums. Funyums or Funyuns? So listen, you make a link, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a...
Did anyone else do this as kid?
You know what I'm saying? Like you made like a... Did you guys, when you were kids, when it was like December, make like the link chain to count down the days to...
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, you know? Now listen, pass the meal around, you know what I'm saying?
Right, we'll take
Get you some Funyuns. So Micah, I want to ask you a question, okay? You've been doing the Link crew at, what high school are you at?
Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez, okay. So you're doing the Link crew, so you're helping connect freshmen to Cesar Chavez. You're doing Champions for Christ. How has that opened up opportunity for you to be a Christ-centered difference maker to some of these kids that might not know who Jesus is?
I think the opportunity to lead in my school has given me the opportunity to become like that person that someone can just talk to. But definitely just it's giving me a platform to show Jesus in my school to the best of my ability.
And I'm sure there's a lot of challenges that come with that, right?
Yeah.
What are some challenges that you face?
They hear what you say, but they don't really care. It's like I'm talking, I'm explaining my faith and why I live the way I live, because people ask me that a lot. They're like, you live this way, like why?
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, it's everything, you know?
How about you guys? Talk to me a little bit. What challenges do you face?
Yeah, I think my biggest one was feeling unqualified. Like, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. So, like, you don't have to know it all to be able to make an impact for Christ. Like, He will prepare you for those moments.
Cool.
Like, you can't hold it all, it's not possible, but He does, and that's what makes it so worth it and so easy to do.
This is the dessert platter, if you would, the third course of the meal.
Pizza.
We have, in my humble opinion, the best pizza, not only in the state of Arizona, but in the world.
Wow.
That is a big take. That
Barrows.
is a bold take.
L-take.
Name a better pizza. Oh wait. Exactly.
Papa John.
Here's the reason why we're doing Barrows Pizza. You guys are doing a Bible study, right? You guys have started this Bible study at your house, correct?
Yes.
And
Wendy's
so,
crib.
what's the easiest food to give to a group of people studying the Word of God, but some pizza?
Barrows.
So we're eating pizza for our people starting the Bible study. Wendy and Zach, why was the Bible study something that you guys wanted to start?
At camp, I had such a strong community being with my girls 24/7 for 5 days. I mean, that's hard to go home and all of a sudden it's just you alone. And so I knew that I wanted to bring some of that camp home with me. And for me, that is like that group time where we're diving deep into the Word. We're not just listening, but now we're applying it to our lives. We're sharing, we're getting closer. And so I just thought, why not?
I was also kind of scared. Kind of like what if people came up to me and asked me questions about my faith and like what problems they had going on in their life and or like what problems I had and how I overcame them. And so I just kind of wanted to just better my knowledge in God's Word and just help them and or even help myself just be able to answer those questions. And so yeah,
that's dope. How has making an impact, being a Christ-centered difference maker outside of a Sunday, how has that helped your personal relationship with Jesus? How has that helped you grow in your faith and know who Jesus is more?
Yeah, I think when you get out of your comfort zone of just coming to church on Sunday nights or whatever days you go, you start to build people who keep you accountable. You start to surround yourself with people who like want to do the same things you do. Like Wendy was saying, like having the girls in her group who also wanted to learn the Word and get like into the Bible, that's an amazing thing. And when you surround yourself with people like that all the time, it makes you want to grow in your relationship with God, with other people. And it can like help to grow your faith and make an impact at the same time.
Cool.
I would say for me, I definitely just walk around with more confidence.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just genuinely like a happier person knowing that I'm loved and that like I'm doing something that God like wanted me to do, like the purpose that He gave me. I feel like I'm like just on the path of fulfilling it.
Yeah. All right, here's the last question. And I want you to think about the person that is like listening to this conversation and they know what it means to make an impact, but they don't know how to start. So what would be like one piece of advice that you would give to someone listening to this? How do I start? How do they start? How do they get into the game and make an impact for Jesus?
I would say get connected. You can be a Christ-centered difference maker right there at your campus every weekend. There's so many places to serve, and there's nothing more fulfilling than putting in time in the place that's given you so much, at least for me.
I would say consistency as well. Spiritually, you'll grow and like you'll get to know God, like what I was saying prior. Like you'll really get to know Him, and you'll grow in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, like I was saying before too, like when you feel uncomfortable, take that as an opportunity. Like don't say no when you get uncomfortable, because that could mean that like God is calling out.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of students wondering, how do I make an impact? So this conversation right here, I think is gonna help a lot of people. Thank you so much for being an example for this church and for these students, seriously. Well, you guys are literally the coolest people I know. There's clearly plenty of food left, so we should probably keep eating.
Guys, we were really hungry, guys.